run wide open all the way around the track. Then you got a middle group that's kind of playing with the throttle and losing ground, and then you got the stragglers at the back.
Mark Martin started 30
Smoke out the 18 car over turn 4.
That's big. Bobby Labonte going up, smoke out both tailpipes, caution flag.
That loose terminal is coming out both sides of the car, which is where the exhaust pipes are.
What's the old saying, Mike? Where there's smoke,
there's shrapnel. Bobby Labonte. And Joe Gibbs Interstate Chevrolet was way up in the high group. Mark Martin, Ricky Rudd 21 had just gone by. His teammate Jason Leffler in the 11. When that comes out the tailpipe, there's nothing good going on inside that engine.
Yeah, my old crew chief Jake Elder used to say she just came a wad.
Labonte in his 13th Daytona 500. And we're under the first caution of the day.
And we're about halfway through this first fuel run. We still have 42 cars on the lead lap, which would exclude Bobby Labonte. I would say because of that, a lot of teams need to make their cars better. Pit road will be a very busy place, probably filling up with fuel, 4 tires, and a lot of adjustments for a lot of these teams.
Calamity in turn 4. You see it unfolding as Ricky Rudd and Boris Said and the number 4 of Mike Wallace have crashed. I think Wallace got the worst of it. His Lucas Oil car is already in the garage. Ricky Rudd for the Wood Brothers. There is Kyle Busch, who is involved.
This is what we were talking about just a little while ago. One mistake by one driver, that tight of a pack, speeds over 190 miles per hour, one mistake, 6, 7, 8 cars involved.
The Wood Brothers of Stewart, Virginia, have won this race with A.J. Foyt. They've won it with Cale Yarborough, Tiny Lund. They won't win it today. Right side of your screen.
I think I saw a tire. It looked like the rubber came off of the left rear of Ricky Rudd's car, maybe, or somebody's car. I can't tell for sure which one.
Looks like he definitely got in trouble. Looks like he almost corrected it, Darrell, and then it shot back up the racetrack, right in the middle of the racetrack, and that's where everyone else got involved.
I think, Larry, I glimpsed the casing of the tire coming off. See down at the bottom down there. There it goes. See it rolling off into the off onto the apron.
I talked to Goodyear's Billy Hodges this morning, and he said the tire problems of last week were all taken care of. They were confident of a good day.
Well, now, after a restart, you always drop the air pressure a little bit.
Good job, baby.
Great call, it guys. Drop the air pressure.
Oh, you and that one, didn't you, Bubba? Check it out. Yeah, buddy. I bet to stay the bottom. Come on, come on. Good job, Harmon. Watch him. Watch him. Watch him. Come on, yeah. Watch the grass. Watch the grass.
Possibly a piston, something that really matters.
It was something very important, but thank you, Michael. Trouble down here, guys. Turn 4.
4 wide, and we've got a problem. John Andretti's 14 and the 11 of Jason Leffler. Bring the caution flag out. Scoring stops immediately. And we're under caution again with 32 laps to go. Darrell, that happened just in front of those 2 cars where they got 4 wide.
Well, as you heard Michael say, he knows, we all know now it's showtime. And Jeff Gordon's doing all he can. Jeff Gordon's doing all he can to get by Tony Stewart now. He knows he can't wait, and he lost his running mate there. Jimmy Johnson went to the outside and fell back.
And what did Jimmy Johnson say earlier in the week? Whoever gets out in front on that last pit stop is going to be tough to pass. Look at him, 4 wide here.
14 just shoves up, comes right down in front of Leffler. 14 got into Travis Quaffle in the 77, come down. Leffler in the 11 car had nowhere to go.
Let's see it from our Quaker State aerial coverage.
You see the 14, he just wobbled a little bit. He got a little push loose. Got into Travis Quaffle.
And that right there is the reason our voice goes up an octave when they're 3 and 4 wide, because this is at 190 miles per hour.
And this also, Larry, as you know, takes the fuel. This makes everybody safe on fuel, I think, with these few caution laps. If there's any question about it, I think this will put everybody into their window.
Leffler's car is probably done for the day. Let's ride with him here.
That was a hard hit.
Right in the door.
They turn one right, dead frame. Jason just pull it to the bottom, All clear all around. Take it to pit road. Hill 3.
That's a worst. As a driver,
We just got to get guys. Come on, John.
It's the worst sound you can hear is that.
But Darrell, you're right. Before that last restart with 35 to go, the crew chief, the owner, the spotter, looked at the driver, talked to the driver, and said, okay, boys, we have 35 laps to go. It's time to go.
They're going to have a shot at Tony Stewart. Well, Rusty got through it.
Here we go.
Harvick slides up in front of traffic.
Cars upside down, cars everywhere.
And turn 4 is Calamity Corner once again. The field is frozen. Jeff Gordon came across with Stewart and Johnson side by side. But there are half a dozen cars littered between turn 3 and the start-finish line.
All right.
Last year's third-place finisher, Scott Wimmer. The 29 of Kevin Harvick. The 42 of Jamie McMurray.
One of these cars was just standing up on its spinning around like a water spout.
Greg Biffle. Jeff Burton had lost an engine prior to this. He coasts onto pit road. And here's Harvick's car, the backup car, damaged, looking a lot like Thursday's car.
But guys, we could see this coming and smell this coming for about 3 or 4 laps.
Here's how it unfolded between turns 3 and 4.
Because something happened to Greg Biffle, the 16 car that triggered all this.
I believe, watch it, see if it's Harvick's car. Oh, no, it's the 22 car.
Scott Wimmer.
Look at him just spinning around. He got up on his nose and come back down on his wheels. Boy, that old Ford turn, she's mean, boys.
Watch the 22 of Scott Wimmer, the yellow car, take a wild ride here.
What started at Greg Biffle came down in the 10, or the 10 went up to Greg Biffle. They got together anyhow.
The luckiest man there was Rusty Wallace. Got a little tap and kept on going.
Now watch Wimmer. Over once, twice, 3 on his nose, 4, wham.
Huge.
So initial contact, the 10 and the 16, right there.
Looked like Biffle in the 16 actually came down in the Scott Riggs in the 10. And Darrell, when you're flipping like that, it probably seems like eternity, don't it?
Oh, listen, I can't tell you what it does to you. You just pray that when you stop that you can remember what happened.
I think Scott Wimmer will remember this one for a long time. Pit stops. Not everybody's in. Stewart stayed out, so did Gordon.
Most of our top 5 or 6 stayed out. I think Mark Martin stayed out. Dale Earnhardt Jr. stayed out. Not surprised, because we're going to be probably within about 10 laps of this race and getting back going. 10 laps to go. I bet they won't stay single file for long.
I bet they won't either. And there's like 13 laps is an eternity at the end of the Daytona 500. And
we got trouble already on the restart here. Mike Skinner in the 23, Travis Quampel in the 77, and they're spinning out through the grass. Caution is out again.
John Andretti just piled into Mike Skinner. Hard.
How in the world did that happen?
Well, Darrell, either somebody missed a gear or somebody's motor coughed. Now that's Skinner's car. Andretti's looks worse.
I was just thinking Skinner was 10th. He was running 10th, having a great run.
And Darrell, he was one of the cars that did not pit. You just wonder, those tires are hot. Did he spin those tires when he accelerated on the restart?
Well, that's obviously what somebody did up here. We'll have to take a look at it and see what happened.
After after Skinner got turned sideways, this car of John Andretti's just pile drove into Skinner's. And now it rolls to a stop, and rescue crews will go to his aid. There is John. He's okay.
Well, look at the steering wheel. That's a hard lick. He bent. You see how the steering wheel is warped? Knocked the fire out of it.
Can't even see out the windshield. Besides the windshield being dirty, the hood is turned up all in front of it.
And they're going to talk to Mike Skinner, who hands his helmet out of his car.
What a shit.
Takes out the earplugs.
Let's see what happens.
Climb out. Watch the top of your screen, the top two cars. Just out of frame. There we are.
Oh, Skinner gets into the back of Ryan Newman, who hits him into Carl Edwards, and then here comes Travis Quaffle. It's just a chain reaction. It's no different than if you were on the highway and somebody in front of you started to go. It's kind of like sitting at a stoplight. Start to go and then stop before you have a chance to stop.
It almost looks like it started up there at about Kurt Busch, the 97, or Jimmy Johnson in the 48. They just started getting into each other.
Even Dale Jr.'s lagging back. There's a huge gap between Dale Jr. and Jeff Gordon.
And Mark Martin squeaks through once again, as does Rusty Wallace.
Rusty's been so lucky the last two times, and the Mark was in. Up against the rev limiter there.
Casey Kane.
He got hit from behind.
Let's watch from Dale Jarrett.
We're about to go, Peter. Stay low, stay low, stay low, stay low.
He got the 9.
Clear, all clear. Everything.
It starts way up just behind Dale Jr. right there, and just everything accordions to the back where you just don't have any more room.
When you're back in the pack, you really can't see around the car in front of you. You're just anticipating what the start's going to be, and then the spotter says go, and if you happen to go and the guy in front of you doesn't, this is what happens.
The later in the race, the more you try to anticipate.
You got to have a good restart here. That's all you'll hear from your spotter.
From our cable cam.
They'll get on you constantly, the crew chief and the spotter will. Now, look, you've been lagging back a little on these restarts. Let's get up here. It's the last one. Let's get going. And this is what can happen.
And what's a shame, Travis Quaffle in the 77, Mike Skinner in the 23, they've overcome a lot of problems today, was up there in contention, at least for a good top 10 finish.
Mark Martin back at 7th, still part of the chase here.
Gordon still thinks he can make that outside car to the wall, too. I think it's the 9 car.
He keeps going.
3 all over the place.
Yep. Casey Kane bounced off the wall, turn 2.
And Jeff Gordon has made a pass.
Put the brake.
Caution is out. The field freezes.
Caution is out.
And NASCAR scoring freezes the field at the last scoring loop the cars cross before the instant of yellow.
We've seen this before. Remember Talladega. I believe the 24 had made the pass. I'm not sure, but I believe he had.
3 laps to go. Caution is out, but the air has not been let out of the balloon. Wow.
But just remember, unlike when we were on the air, the last 4 years, we will be guaranteed at least one attempt at a green-white checkered should we go that distance.
Exactly.
Thank you, NASCAR.